Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ancestral Treasures, Part 2, if you prefer, of something that we started last Sunday, paying tribute to the women and the men who gave us entertainment galore and continue to produce wonderful music in continuance of what began 175 years ago when our ancestors came. My name is Gideon Hanuman Singh with Andy Serju taking charge of the technical side of things. We'll be here until 12 noon. Well, June is a month of many birthdays and some very important celebrants too, like Harry Day Budu, who turned 102 on June the 2nd. Happy belated to you, Moi. Hope that you are in good health. Frank Eugene Gopi of Diet Trace in Cunupia turned 75 plus on the 4th, and some people, no names called, celebrated on June the 5th. Well, Kellyanne of New Jersey celebrated yesterday, and this morning, her dad, Rohan, wants to extend happy belated. It comes also from Emerson, Sean, Stephen, and Roxanne, also from husband Damus and sons Diru, and Owen, and a very special friend in Cindy. But that's not all from the Rajaram family, because Rajaram Dasrat, the head of the household, would have been 90 on June the 1st. Would have been 90 on June the 1st. Gone but not forgotten from wife Meena and children Rohan, Sabita, Glenn, Geeta, Kumar, and Rance. And I repeated June the 1st because it seems as though there is some connectivity between the Rajaram family and us of Hasarat Road in Cunupia, because not only are we celebrating a birthday this month, but our father died on the 6th of June. Yesterday would have been 66 years since his passing. Maybe we should begin the show with a special song to all who have and are celebrating birthdays in June. Now, this song has nothing to do with a birthday. It's just an old friend serenading.
चल जहाँ गम के मार न हो, जुदी आशा के तार न हो, चल जहाँ गम के मार न हो, झूठी आशा के तार न हो, झूठी आशा के तार न हो। इन बहारों से क्या पाएगा जिसमें दिल के कली ढल गई, जख्म में फिर से हरा हो गया। ऐ मेरे दिल कहीं और चल। चार आंसू कोई रो दिया, फिर के उनको ही चल दिया। चार आंसू कोई रो दिया, फिर के उनको ही चल दिया, फिर के उनको ही चल दिया। रुक रहा था किसी का जहां, देखती रह गई ये ज़मीन, चुप रहा बेरहिम आसमां। ऐ मेरे दिल कहीं यार चल, गम की दुनिया से दिल भर गया, ढूंढ ले अब कोई ढल गया। ऐ मेरे दिल कहीं यार चल।
Vishnu Brown of Monkey Town near Barrackpore singing for all those celebrating a birthday in the first quarter of June. Thank you, George, and stay tuned for some really great talent. And I want to acknowledge those who are reaching out to us on Facebook, Bina Bolai and Gomati Rampal, Seema Kisto Singh. Good morning to all of you. Nandini Balki soon. Thank you all so very much, and share the word, spread the message that we're on Facebook Live. Well, last Sunday we featured Sukhdev Jagdev. We started the show with Sukhdev Jagdev, continued with Vidya Dwaraka, featured Molly Ramcharan, Lily Moon, the Sultan, Savita Singh, and Sunil Ramsundar, to name just a few. This morning we have a different lineup in the Naujawan and the old Naya Zamana, plus a few Musafirs in between. But we begin with songs from a CD album produced by Harry Mahabir entitled Love the Essence of Life, for which the self-proclaimed maestro assembled what I'd like to call the creme de la creme of female singers at the time, including Kamrun Ali, as she was known back then.
दिल मेरा झूम के चांदनी में झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा, चंदा के चांदनी में झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा, झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा, झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा, चंदा के चांदनी में झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा, चंदा के चांदनी में झूमे झूमे दिल मेरा।
Of course, Cameroon would add Hussein to her names. Maybe the gentleman in question fell in love with her fantastic singing, a product of what I call Islamia Warrenville, opposite to where my friend Yusuf Ali taught school before joining the staff of Radio Guardian with Hands back in the day. The music of Hari Mahabir's National Indian Orchestra and the voice now of Sally Edwards. Well, it seems as though age is causing a problem on that Sally Edwards song, but we'll correct it in a little bit, acknowledging now that Kenny Dhoon is listening in the United Kingdom. Good morning, sir. Lovely shirt, he says. Lovely color. Thank you, Kenny. Leela Harilal. Good morning, guys. Have a blessed day. And be safe, and many happy returns of the day to you. Sally Edwards, the iconic and extremely talented recipient of the Shakonial Civil Medal and mother of five, gone in 2001. Both Sally and Harry have gone to the great beyond, but their music will forever be with us. Also included in that lineup of perfumed singers is Miss Prematee Bheem.
बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है जिया बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है ओ सूरज देखे चंदा देखे सब देखे हम तरसे हो सब देखे हम तरसे ओ सूरज देखे चंदा देखे सब देखे हम तरसे हो सब देखे हम तरसे जैसे बरसे कोई बदरिया ऐसे अखियाँ बरसे जैसे बरसे कोई बदरिया ऐसे अखियाँ बरसे जिया बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है जिया बेकरार है नैनों से एक तारा टूटे मिट्टी में मिल जाए हो मिट्टी में मिल जाए हो नैनों से एक तारा टूटे मिट्टी में मिल जाए हो मिट्टी में मिल जाए आंसू की बरसात लम्हा दिल में आग लगाए आंसू की बरसात लम्हा दिल में आग लगाए जिया बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है जिया बेकरार है ओ तुझको नजरें ढूंढ रही है मुकरा तो दिखला जा मुकरा तो दिखला जा ओ तुझको नजरें ढूंढ रही है मुकरा तो दिखला जा मुकरा तो दिखला जा रास्ते पर हो आग का ये आने वाले आजा रास्ते पर हो आग का ये आने वाले आजा जिया बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है जिया बेकरार है चाय बाहर है आजा मोरे बाल माँ तेरा इंतजार है जिया बेकरार है
She's been waiting to engage since last Sunday morning, Miss Prematee Bheem, who ruled a roost in the East-West corridor and was one of the stars of many a band, especially the Bina Sangeet Orchestra led by the Sugrim brothers. But this morning, the album is the one that caught the eyes and the ear of the world, loved the essence of life. And guess what? We've got Miss Prematee Bheem online. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Hanuman Singh. Good morning. It's my pleasure.
I'm sure we are taking you back in time with these songs, Love the Essence of Life.
Oh my God, sweet, sweet memories.
Yes.
Sweet memories.
What do you remember of the time when the creme de la creme got together with Harry Mahabir to record these songs?
What will I remember? Okay, it was the most beautiful time in my life. I'm chosen by Mr. Harry Mahabir to be one of the girls. You know, I had now started on Mastana, and I was surprised that he chose me. You know, amongst these Sally, Cameron, they were long before me in the singing world, you know. I just started late in life after I was married. So it was a very, very special and beautiful time for me.
And you went on to become somewhat of an icon in the culture in Trinidad and Tobago, and you went not only across the stages of Trinidad and Tobago, but you ventured outside of Trinidad touring.
Yes, of course, yeah. Went to
Wh-
many places.
Where did
United States, South America, Caribbean islands like Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, a lot of places. Yeah.
and what stands out? Which country stands out for you?
Well, I think Canada. I was very popular in Canada because Maestro did a lot of tours and a lot of shows in Canada, and I was included. Plus Guyana and Florida. Anywhere I go,
Yes.
you know, it was nice. I was welcome. People appreciated our type of singing. You know, yeah.
Especially the old songs, right?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. It was
Yeah.
well appreciated. And even now, people are searching for these songs.
That's right.
I told a few people about you playing it on radio this morning, and they prepared to tape it because, like, it is not there anymore. It lost. People lost it. I
Yes.
have the LP, but no way to get it to play, you know.
Yes, but you moved away a little bit, I guess, in keeping with the trend and the moment, the what the audience was demanding in terms of a mixture of light chutney, right?
Well, I don't call it chutney. For me, I consider it folk songs because I did it with a different style, with professional music. We had a ladies singing competition, and I won the segment with the chutney, as they call it, folk song.
Yes.
And I was asked by Moe Mohammed to do a cassette for them. And from then on, I did every year for 3 years after that, I did one. And I think that is what made me more well known because people was in demand for those type of songs, especially in Guyana. They love those type of songs, you know.
Yeah, the dancing songs.
The Bhojpuri folk songs, and then I did it in a form that you could listen to, huh?
Yes,
I wanted to put some class to it, not only to dance, but to listen to.
of course. So so Harry Mahabir played with you, but Hans is in the studio with me, and we were chatting about you and your music, and he said that there is a musician that excites you so much.
Okay, well, who played for my cassettes, those folk songs was Virendra Prasad.
Right.
Virendra Prasad. Yeah, Harry is the one I did most of the Bollywood songs with.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and travel all over. Before I bring out those cassettes, I was singing all over with Mr. Harry Mahabir on tours, doing duets with Satruhan and the guys like Krishna Samaru and all of them, and doing latter songs.
yes.
That is how I started. That is what I love best.
Right.
But
So Harry's music was more circumspect, and he had a particular kind of culture in his playing, but Virendra's fingers were more in line with the Bhojpuri culture.
Yeah, he was next in line to Maestro, but it's a different kind of feel, you know. Maestro, well, he's the boss.
Well,
No,
he
we
grew
know-
up, but
we all know that.
Virendra grew up under the stewardship of Harry Mahabir.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, so any latest albums coming out?
Yeah, well, I'm planning to do something because, I don't like to say fans, but my friends are asking me, they're longing to hear my voice again. You know, due to family duty and all that, I had to give up when in the peak of my career, 1993. So I am willing to go back. My voice is okay, but it's just I have to get back in the mood, you know.
You have to
So I'm going to do something very soon.
So you're getting back in that sur.
Yeah. Bollywood though, Bollywood.
Okay. All right.
All one. The oldies.
And there are lots of nice oldies to sing.
Yeah. Like Balma Barana Jan, Mera Dil Ye Pukare Aaja, Baharo, Mera Jeevan Bhi Samharo, all those are my type of songs.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, thank you so much for engaging with us this morning. I know we were supposed to have done this interview since last Sunday, and we kept you listening to the entire show. And this morning you are with
A
us
lot of
again.
people were listening. They wanted to get these songs.
Okay,
Well,
well,
it is my pleasure, Mr. Hanuman Singh. I feel honored, and I really do appreciate this. To know that I had given up singing so long, and you remembered me. It is really, really an honor for me. Thank you so much for having me on your program.
well, it's a pleasure. And talking about remembering so many of the old singers we have coming up later on, Bhola Prasad, Jagannath Singh, Rhoda Asgarali, Ramnath Siharak. So we've got a good lineup of the old singers on the show this morning.
Yeah. Old is gold, as they say, huh?
That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Okay, you're
Okay,
welcome. And thank
good.
you
So
so much
wonderful.
for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So wonderful reminiscing with Prematee Bheem this morning on Ancestral Treasures. I trust that you are enjoying the songs that we are playing. I know that my friend Lloyd Budram is with us, and Lloyd, in fact, celebrated his birthday on the 1st of June. So, belated happy birthday to you, Lloyd. Trust that you had a wonderful time and that you will enjoy the music that we are playing as your CARICOM cousins. From Rajmani Maharaj in this Harry Mahabir compilation of the best female singers of the time, and we're talking nearly 4 decades ago, still going very strong. Rajmani, a puny figure from St. Helena, ran away with the first prize of a Mastana final, singing an Asha Bhosle song from the 1966 Bollywood blockbuster Pul Aur Patthar. Well, Hans is telling me that she also won the NCIC's ladies singing competition. Good morning, Hans.
Good morning.
So, yeah, it's an interesting story that a lot of people didn't know about Rajmani's singing and the prize.
Well, we publicized as much as we could. It was a very popular competition and very good contestants. Rajmani placed first, Ruby Khan Gupta placed second, and Shakuntala Jangbahadur third. And time for taking up the prizes. The first prize was an all expenses trip, courtesy Air India and Amral's travel to India. And the second prize was an return airfare to Toronto. And I don't now remember what the third prize, it may have been a trip to New York. But what I remember well is that the first place winner was reluctant to take up her prize trip to India because there was one thing on her mind, a career in a new land, like a pilgrim to Canada. And so she exchanged with Ruby. Ruby went to India with Krishna, her husband, and a whole lot of people from Trinidad and Tobago had a wonderful time. And she, of course, was a celebrity on the trip. And Rajmani went to Toronto to begin a new life.
And never returned.
Well, she may have returned in the course of time, but on this trip, she was really interested in the one-way aspect of the trip.
It's the same story, I recall, with Rampasad Singh, the tabla
That's
player
right, yeah, that's right.
from the Naya Zamana, who had gone for Expo 67 and played with Naya Zamana in Montreal and never returned to Trinidad.
And I think maybe one of the influences would have been Mr. Raymond.
Yes,
Cyril
Raymond.
Yes.
Right.
They came from the same community. They played together. Mr. Raymond had gone to India, to Canada before that with his family, and became very involved in the steel band movement there.
Yes. Okay, so let's say good morning to Leela Hiralal and to Safia Najir. Anthony Diljon, good morning. I would like to say a special good morning to my mother-in-law, Prematee Bheem, Trevlin Harilal, Prematee the legend, love her so much. Grew up in front of this lady and love her singing so very much. Roti Sinanan, good morning. And we thank you all very much for reaching out to us on Lime 101.7 FM, Ancestral Treasures. You know, love is really the essence of life, as music is the food that staves off hunger and longing for our cultural yearnings. We salute these who became flag bearers, initially for personal contentment that morphed into a caravan of unselfishness, and that's what we celebrate 175 years after. 9:41 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is Ancestral Treasures, and the segment we're playing songs from the album Love the Essence of Life. I see that Kurt Hanuman Singh is watching, and he wants us to know that he's watching. Thank you very much, nephew. And it's nice to know that you are enjoying the music. Now we have someone who is in Argentina. Gloria Rosana Valagran is sharing the love and the essence that we are sharing with you this morning on Ancestral Treasures. Thanks for your comment, and nice to know that you are listening and watching and enjoying the music of these talented women of Trinidad and Tobago. These were the very popular Lata Mangeshkar songs of the day, and Harry Mahabir chose the cream of the crop to sing them in this compilation of Love the Essence of Life, enjoyed by Prabhu and Sita of Santa Cruz, and they are sharing this music with Sunil and Kamal and Anand and Rodney. So Prabhu called on behalf of Sita to say, listen, we are enjoying your music this morning on Ancestral Treasures.
चैन हमारा छीन लिया, सुख चैन हमारा छीन लिया। पहले तो बसाए दिल में खुशी, फिर दिल का सहारा छीन लिया, फिर दिल का सहारा छीन लिया। दुनिया ने तेरी दुनिया वाले कश्ती आन बसी, मौजों ने किनारा छीन लिया, मौजों ने किनारा छीन लिया। दुनिया ने तेरी दुनिया वाले घटा जा और कहीं है गम की घटा जा और कहीं। अब पास हमारे कुछ भी नहीं, अब पास हमारे कुछ भी नहीं, ओ कुछ भी नहीं। चमकाया था जिसने किस्मत को, तूने वो सितारा छीन लिया, तूने वो सितारा छीन लिया। दुनिया ने तेरी दुनिया वाली, सुख चैन हमारा छीन लिया, सुख चैन हमारा छीन लिया। दुनिया ने तेरी दुनिया वाली।
So I hope these friends of Prematee Bheem have had the opportunity to record these songs so that they will be with them forever. Ancestral Treasures, Lime 101.7 FM, broadcasting from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Gideon Hanumansing, and Sergio is at the controls.
मुझे पर दिल चाहता है वो, कहने दो मुझे तुमसे मोहब्बत हो गई है। मुझे पलकों की छाँव में रहने दो, एहसान तेरा होगा मुझे पर दिल चाहता है वो, कहने दो
The impact of what we are doing this morning is felt in Monkey Town. Vishnu Brown just called me saying, "You brought tears to my eyes listening to these songs, these singers of old, these great singers of Trinidad and Tobago." Very, very nostalgic sentiments from Vishnu Brown. Thank you very much, George. And thank you to the ladies, Kamrun, Ali Hussein, Sally Edwards, Prematee Bheem, and Rajmani Maharaj. Thank you all for your contribution to the music of Trinidad and Tobago. And happy that you can join us for this special presentation of Ancestral Treasures as we search the files for distinction. And believe me, this morning we've got it. Here's a remixed, differently configured Hari Om Sharan song by Foram Shah of the New York-based Gemini Band led by the Salochan family.
राम नाम सुही जानी जो रमता सकल जहां घट घट में जो रम रहा उसको राम पहचान तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार बेड़ा पार रे बेड़ा पार तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार उदासी मन काहे को करे तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार उदासी मन काहे को करे काहे को डरे रे काहे को डरे काहे को डरे काहे को डरे रे काहे को डरे तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार उदासी मन काहे को करे तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार उदासी मन काहे को करे तेरा राम जी नैया तेरी राम हवाले लहर लहर हरि आप संभाले नैया तेरी राम हवाले लहर लहर हरि आप संभाले हरि आप ही उठावे तेरा भार उदासी मन काहे को करे तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार उदासी मन काहे को करे तेरा राम जी काबू में उदासी मन काहे को करे, तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार। उदासी मन काहे को करे, तेरा राम जी। सहज किनारा मिल जाएगा, मिल जाएगा, मिल जाएगा, परम सहारा मिल जाएगा। सहज किनारा मिल जाएगा, परम सहारा मिल जाएगा। डोरी सौंप के तो देख एक बार, उदासी मन काहे को करे, तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार। उदासी मन काहे को करे, तेरा राम जी करेंगे बेड़ा पार। उदासी मन काहे को करे, उदासी मन काहे को करे, उदासी मन काहे को करे।
Indian-born Foram Shah with symphonic music by the Fingers of Trinbagonian family members in New York, the Silochan family, as the byline of their advertisements as music for the future. And what's interesting is that Nazia Silochan is on the saxophone, Safia is on the trumpet, Steve Silochan, their dad, is the music director. Now, this is the epitome of continuity in that Father Ramdeo started the band in Avocat Village. Son Steve, Mike and Ray carried it forward, and now granddaughters Nazia and Safia are integral parts of its music. The Gemini Indian Orchestra, it was called, and it gave exposure to people like Paul Sukai, Glenori, Dhanraj Singh, Vishnu Brown, Ramraj Dukante, and Nazir Khan, who now resides in New York. When Ramdev migrated to the U.S., he was the first West Indian band, or his was the first West Indian band, to have played at Madison Square Garden when Sundar Popo performed there. Now, under the leadership of the Sons, it is the most sought-after crossover music ensemble, working with Indian and non-Indian artists on the New York club circuit. It is an essential part of the West Indian music legacy. Happy to have its music to share with you this morning. Let me say good morning to Faisal Hussain. Good music as usual, he says, and a greeting to us from Gloria Sinanan. Good morning to both of you as well. Well, last Sunday in the beginning, we featured the talent of Debe, but without one of its most famous sons, Kailash Kaulesa. So this morning, I've got quite a few songs by this incredible singer who departed this world 20 years ago. Thanks to his wife, who willingly shared a CD so that we can all remember the great talent that he possessed. And I'd like to welcome particularly Tara, his son Videsh, daughters and the grandchildren of Mr. KK.
मत जइयो राधे जमुना के जी हाँ तू गंगा की मौज में जमुना का धारा तू गंगा की मौज में जमुना का धारा हो रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा हो हमारा तुम्हारा रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा तुम्हारा सागर तो मझधार मैं हूँ मझधार मैं हूँ तेरे दिल की कश्ती का पतवार मैं हूँ पतवार मैं हूँ छुपूंगी अकेले ना तुमसे ये नैया न तुमसे ये नैया मिलेंगे ना मंजिल तुम्हें बिन खेवैया तुम्हें बिन खेवैया चले आओ जी चले आओ जी चले आओ मौजों का लेकर सहारा हो रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा तुम्हारा कैसे टूटेंगे बंधन ये दिल के बंधन ये दिल के बिछड़ती नहीं मौज से मौज मिलके वो मौज मिलके छुपोंगी भंवर में तो छुपने न देंगे तो छुपने न देंगे बनाएंगे तूफान को एक दिन किनारा हो रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा तुम्हारा तू गंगा की मौज में जमुना का धारा तू गंगा की मौज में जमुना का धारा हो रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा हो हमारा तुम्हारा रहेगा मिलन ये हमारा तुम्हारा ये हमारा तुम्हारा ये हमारा तुम्हारा.
Taken from a live performance of the band Sur Sangeet led by Alan Sinanan and kept for posterity, the voice of Kailash Kaulesa, whose grandfather's brother was the famous Ramai Trace sculptor and painter Sidhu Jagan. And legend has it that Sidhu was in some ways connected to former Guyana president Chedi Jagan.
बड़ी दूर से आए हैं प्यार का.
As I said, it is taken from raw audio from a live recording, so we will have some intermittent lapses. We hope that you will bear with us, but the music is so invaluable that I thought that I must share it with our listeners this morning on Ancestral Treasures. The number of songs that we've got today is the first time that this radio station has the privilege to share so many songs of this great singer from Debe. Running neck and neck with Sukhdev Jagdev for top position in Debe back in the day. Sukhdev from Gandhi village and Kailash, the pride of Rama. I trace many favored Sukhdev who carried on his shoulders what they said were cultural aristocracy, but the majority preferred Kailash for the songs that he chose, his smooth delivery, and most of all, his dosto simplicity.
लग जा गले दिलरुबा लग जा गले दिलरुबा रूप के कली वो गुलाब के कली तेरे कदमों में दिल है मेरा लग जा गले दिलरुबा ओ शोला बदन ओ जोहर जबी तुम गुस्से में लगती मगर को थामे हुए मुझ पे न गिरे ये बिजली कहीं इतना ना सितम करना कुछ नजरे करम करना देखिए दिल है नाजुक मेरा लग जा गले दिलरुबा लग जा गले दिलरुबा कहाँ रुक के गली वो गुलाम के गली तेरे कदमों में दिल है मेरा लग जा गले दिलरुबा इस रात न चल बल खा के न चल हाँ चल तो हवा में उड़ा के न चल बन जाएगा कोई अफसाना दिल को मेरे तरफा के न चल क्या कहने नजाकत की सामा है कयामत के मैं तो पहली नजर में लुटा लग जा गले दिलरुबा दिलरुबा कहाँ रुक के चली वो गुलाम के गली तेरे कदमों में दिल है मेरा लग जा गले दिलरुबा
Well, Tara tells me that their grandchildren are always inquiring about their singing grandfather, and why not? He was an excellent artist whose name must live on. And one person who has followed Kailash's career very closely is attorney Krishna Nibar of Tulsa Trace in San Francisco, whom we shall chat with after this song.
धन्य सुहागिन वो जिसने भारत को तुलसीदास दिया मेहंदी महावर रच कर भी सुख सपनों से सन्यास लिया मेहंदी महावर रच कर भी सुख सपनों से सन्यास लिया धन्य सुहागिन वो जिसने भारत को तुलसीदास कुछ दिन को सवरिया को भाए मिलने आए तुमसे प्रीतम सो भेज राम के पास दिया मैं धन्य सुहागिन वो जिसने भारत को तुलसीदास दिया उसके माथे पर रामायण की को हमको हरि लीला का इतिहास दिया। है धन्य सुहागी वो जिसने भारत को तुलसीदास दिया। मेहंदी महावर रच कर भी सुख सपनों से संन्यास लिया। है धन्य सुहागिन वो जिसने भारत को तुलसीदास दिया।
Kailash Kolesa on Ancestral Treasures, and as a consequence of what we're doing this morning, it's I'm navigating through the computer, the telephone, and of course the emotions as well. So let me say good morning to Rekha Ramdu Ramjit. Good morning, sir. Nice program. Shaks Harry Lal, good morning. Lovely music, enjoying to the max. Anand Mangru, great work, sir. This type of programming will keep these legends alive. Thank you for this great effort. And of course, Gloria Sinanan is again saying lovely music. Well, I was saying that the man who spent maybe the last performance with Kailash Kaulesa is attorney at law Krishna Niba of Tulsa Trace in San Francisco, who is on the line. Namaskar Bhai and welcome.
Again, namaskar, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you on air.
And we feel very honored that you have taken the call and that you're willing to engage this morning. Before I ask you to recall those final moments, give us, if you will, a biographical sketch of Kailash Kaulesa.
Well, some of it, Gideon, you've mentioned already. He, from Ramai Trace, he is the nephew of the sculptor Sidhu. He grew up in Ramai Trace, his wife Tara, 5 kids. You've mentioned that already. And that he worked at the Ministry of Works, but he was very much involved in the community, and particularly the Ramai Trace Mandir. And I'm told also involved in the primary school, Ramai Trace Hindu School activities. But he came into the limelight as a very, very talented singer who have had no formal training, no opportunity to sharpen the skills, as they would say. And this was found when he was involved in the Mandir and get an opportunity to do a song or so. And thereafter, or soon after that, he was a prominent member of a very, if I may say, one of the leading groups, if not the leading, Ramayana groups in Trinidad, that was based in Devi and led by the now deceased Pandit Rampasad Tiwari. He was known as Darhi Baba. And that was a formidable group. Currently, Pandit, former teacher Tulsi Prasad, was a prominent member of that group. And I remember Uncle Sugars, also from my trade. I don't remember his correct name. This is Alan Sinanan uncle. They were the core members, and there was a very powerful Ramayana group. And that gave him the necessary exposure to become, if I may say, more popular in the country. And then, singing from cooking night to Mandir singing to satsang singing, birthday singing, he became a household name. And went to several countries like Guyana, Suriname, USA, Canada, the Caribbean, and of course in Trinidad. And, he was well known, very talented singer. But what strikes me most about Kailash is he was a very humble guy, easy to get along with, always with a smile. It was a pleasure to always be in his company because there's no stress, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
And something that you will, it was rare, somewhat rare, the extent of his humility, the depth of it, was a rare quality in such a talented singer in this country. And he was amiable, easy to get along, like I say, and the guys, from sometime around the middle to late 80s, he got involved with our group. That not because he deserted that Ramai Trace group, but because these were a bunch of older guys, some of whom passed on, and the group could not have continued. So he naturally gravitated to our group. This was the Amritvani Ramayana group, and this was the group with members like Kailash, Vishnu Brown, Vishnu Rampasad, Dean Nivar, Sugnarayan Soni, Ramesh Maharaj, Ramesh Gita Ramesh from Devi,
Yes, indeed.
Bracco. And this became a very, if I may say myself, a very sought after group in the community.
A very formidable group.
Very formidable. And, we perform what we call seva from mandils to satsangs and so on. And in the process of doing all of this, the kind of bonding that took place among ourselves. I mean, these were all like my younger brothers. I was the oldest man in the side, And this morning when you play Kailash first song, I mean, I was moved emotionally because that voice I didn't hear for a little while. And, I felt like he was in my presence, that it touched me, really.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And Krish, for a very few seconds, if you will, share the final moments you were on stage with him at the satsang.
Well, I recall it was, I believe, a Thursday night. We had satsang in Katwa Road. And we went to do satsang, normal satsang, and sometime around 10 o'clock. After, the reading and the closing, and then have a little dining, and then we leave. And, he was normal. I noticed that while we were chatting at the car about the depart, he was knocking his chest a bit, So, well, George, he said, well, it's gas, boy. The gas, So, well, you better take something for it. Not knowing he was a sick man with any kind of cardiac problem. And then we drove. He was behind me. I was in front. We got to Katwaruke's junction in Bachia, and then we waved each other. And he stopped to say, hey, tomorrow I meet you in Gopi Place. We had another satsang for the next day. That was the last words we had. And then 5 in the morning, 5:30, I got a message that Kailash passed on. It was Friday morning. Well, you could imagine the shock.
Of course.
I mean, the whole group, all the boys, we met the night before, almost 10, 12 hours before. And now this. Anyway, we went through it, but it was a tough time. You were part of it, Gideon, you remember?
That's right.
It was a tough time, difficult time for everybody, particularly family members. But most important, we had to, be present and offer whatever. Just being there is, I think, was enough. All we can do anyway. But since then, it has been, our group has lost, I may say systematically some more members. Sugnarayan Soni passed away, one of our very talented Ramayana reader. And of course, Vishnu Rampasad. In my mind, the number one Hari Om Sharan singer in Trinidad.
That's right.
And then we have had also, although Premchand Jagdev was not a regular member of our group because he was in the Gandhi Village group. But whenever he's off there and he can join us, he most willingly joined us. He and all passed away. So we've lost a lot in the South, believe me.
And good talent.
Yes, from where natural talent.
That's
talent,
right. Yeah. So you will agree, Krish, that Kailash is part of the cultural legacy of Ramai Trace and Debe in general.
Of course, I totally agree with that statement. And I must add, however, too, that community of Ramai Trace, Gandhi Village, Debe proper, which is really one community. So you have different groups. It has given this country some of the best talented people. You spoke about the Jagdev family, Premchand and Sukhdev, yes. And then now the Ramai Trace people, as you know, Alan Senanan is also leader of the Sur Sangeet was. His uncles of Sugar, his aunt of Molly, and that group, that family, in fact, you remember Wayne Ali, who plays with us currently?
Yes, indeed.
Wayne is also Alan's cousin, first cousin. Yeah, the children of a brother and sister, Wayne is Alan's father, sister, son.
Excellent harmonium player.
Excellent harmonium player, good singer. So that community and that family particularly has given a lot to the entire country, but mostly, I'm saying, or Debe and environs.
Now, Felicity and Barakpur may take offense, but I've always said, Krish, that Debe for me is the seat of Indian culture in Trinidad and Tobago.
Are you sure you're not giving it that plus because of the Sahina?
No, maybe that too.
Maybe that too, yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
but you see, I am from the area, and of course I am emotionally attached. I could be biased, but I must also say that Felicity and even here and there in North Trinidad have given us a lot of good, talented people. You will remember when we have Christmas Mehfil.
Yes, indeed.
You have all our boys, like I spoke of, Kailash, Brahm, Ramesh, Vishnu, Dean, and then we join with boys from the North, like Jamil, Jamil from Chanapuna,
Yes.
and of course Raman Mooney, and then you had on that side Nazimul and so on. So yes, the North side has given us some talent, no question of it, and we have to acknowledge that. But my heart is closer to the ground in Devi, so I have to, I'm much more appreciative of that.
Yes.
I'm biased, of course.
Indeed. All right, Krish, thank you very much for sharing your Sunday morning time with us. I appreciate it.
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a
हरि का ध्यान लगा मन मेरे, मिट जाएंगे सब दुख तेरे, सब दुख तेरे। सुमिरन कर ले सांझ सवेरे, मिट जाएंगे सब दुख तेरे, सब दुख तेरे। गगन में क्षण क्षण में है प्रभु की छाया रे भाई, जिसने मन के आंखें खोली उसने उसका दर्शन पाया रे भाई। जो नर हर की माला फेरे, झूठी जन्म जन्म के तेरे, जन्म के तेरे। हरि का ध्यान धन ले जाएगा रे कौन साथ धन लेके आया रे भाई जग में सबके रंग बसेरे साथ किसी के कौन चले रे कौन चले हरि का ध्यान लगा मन मेरे मिट जाएंगे सब दुख तेरे सब दुख तेरे सुमिरन कर ले सांझ सवेरे मिट जाएंगे सब दुख तेरे सब दुख तेरे राम कृष्ण हरि गोपाल कृष्ण हरि 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 राम कृष्ण हरि गोपाल कृष्ण हरि
Special segment in tribute to the late Kailash Kaulesa on Ancestral Treasures, 101.7 FM. Mera naam Neeru hai. Hanuman Singh is my good name, and Andy Serju is at the controls. Sharda Lakhan, he's a legend, no doubt of that. Our beloved son of the soil from Ramai Trace Debe. I'm so proud of him. Well, we've got someone else who's on the line who is equally proud of Kailash Kaulesa. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Gideon Hanuman Singh.
Morning, sir.
Yes, my name is Jagannath. I'm calling you from Tulsa Trace in Pinal.
The mayor
I would
of
just like-
Tulsa Trace.
I would just like to endorse some of the sentiments that were shared by Mr. Nibar at Chiniat Law, because I had the privilege of being part of this group, but not to sing and play music and thing, you know,
Yes.
to be in the background. And I would just like to add that if humility is the essence of life, then Kailash Kaulesa, he was the epitome of humility. And whenever he would have taken that microphone in his hand, you know, he was a different person. He wasn't Kailash Kaulesa anymore.
He was an avatar.
Yes, he was. Yeah, well, yes, he was a really, really humble and simple human being. But I think whenever he performed, you know, he always did justice to that performance. Be it representing Trinidad and Tobago, outside of Trinidad or in Trinidad, in Ramayana or Satsang or whatever. And, you know, we spent many a time together, Gideon, and, you know, whenever I go to pick him up, he would never ask me, George, we coming back today or we coming back tomorrow or where we going or by who we going or, you know, nothing like that, you know. He once he remarked, you know, that he said that Tulsa was his second home, and he felt extremely comfortable when he came to Tulsa Trace. He felt very, very comfortable and very happy to be here, you know. And I am very grateful that, you know, I was a privilege to share some of the moments with him, you know,
Yes.
before he passed on, because he passed on at the very young age of 46, if I may remember correctly. Last year was 20 years since his passing.
Right. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jagannath. We certainly do appreciate your comments this morning. And yes, indeed, we all feel a sense of tremendous loss. I met Kailash Kaulesa once through the invitation of Krishniba. And would you believe it was at Kaura River?
Okay.
And he had gone there for the weekend, a team of people. And I got there late in the afternoon when they were wrapping up things, and he sang a song, Jessica Sati, which was his one of his famous songs. In fact, all of his songs were so well done that people appreciated him wherever he went, whenever he sang. And we are so privileged this morning through the kindness of his wife Tara to have received this CD of songs by Kailash Kaulesa.
But Gideon, can I make a polite request of you? If you have this song, Suna Suna Lagebe, that is the song that he won the car in Mastana Bahar.
That's
I don't know
right.
if you remember that, right?
That's right.
If you have that his Kailash Kaulesa's recording, can you please play that?
I will try to oblige, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so very, very much. The morning time is 10:41 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you all for all your comments, calls, sentiments on our Facebook page. And yes, you can call us and talk about Kailash Kaulesa, 221-8585, 66295 or 9445, sorry. Let me repeat those numbers again, 221-8585, 662-9445. The voice of Kailash Kaulesa on Ancestral Treasures, and I couldn't agree with Sharda Lakhan more. He was phenomenal, and I'm sure that all of Ramai Trace is listening to their Son of the Soil this morning on Lime 101.7 FM. We've got Videsh, Kailash's son, on the line. Sitaram, and welcome.
Sitaram, uncle. Thanks a lot for having me.
Listening to all these songs must be very emotional, even 20 years after his passing.
Of course, yes, it is.
What are your best memories of your dad?
Well, on a normal day after work, he would come home. He would sit in the hammock and always whistling or singing. All the time. That was him, more or less. Always. He loved singing that much that he always singing something or whistling and enjoying himself.
You heard Krishna Niba.
Yes, I did.
Earlier on, and like your mom said to me, he didn't have formal training yet. He emerged as such a phenomenal, great singer. This man had enormous talent.
Yes, he did. He never went anywhere. Nobody trained him. It was just for the love of music. He started. He, as I said, always singing. He really came into the limelight while walking one day in Debe at the junction Ramai Trace, and one of the members of the PRT Ramayana group would have listened to him singing, and he called him out a day and he told him, he said, "You always singing, come join the Ramayana group." That was Uncle Roy Z. And that's where his career in singing really started off, in the Ramayana group, and then he went further from there.
Yes, Suna Suna Lage, that we played just a short time ago, was the winning song for the Mastana competition.
Yes, in 1996.
Yes. You remember the moment and how the family felt when he won the prize?
Yes, we did. It's something that I think none of us would ever be able to forget. It was such a happy moment. It was filled with nostalgia. For him, it was one of the greatest accomplishments in his musical career. Having entered the competitions a few times prior to that and always coming out either second or third in the finals, and finally having won in 1996, it was something else for him and the entire family.
And I'm told that you are following in his footsteps.
Yes, I am. More in satsang, however, but yes, I am.
Any plans of emerging like he did, on the bigger stage sometime?
I would see how it goes. At this point, not really. I enjoy my satsang. That's my piece, and I'm good with that for now. However, Uncle Vishnu Brown has been trying for the longest while to get me involved in the bigger stage, as you said. So time will tell, and I'll see how it goes.
Yes. So when we spoke earlier, I asked you if Suna Suna Lage, which was his winning song, was his favorite. But clearly, it wasn't yours.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I love the song, however. But Patarki Sanam, his rendition of it, it sends me somewhere else. It's one of the better renditions of the song.
Yes, and I would imagine that you can share a few lines with us.
You put me on the spot.
Yes, that's where you belong.
पतर के सनम तुझे हमने मोहब्बत का खुदा जाना बड़ी दूर हुई हरे हमने मोहब्बत का खुदा जाना पत्थर के सनम.
After COVID, I will have to come to Ramai Trace and I will beat the tabletop for you.
Very well. I most certainly will enjoy this.
All right. Thank you very much.
most
Appreciate your
welcome.
time.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for taking this initiative to highlight my father. It's the first time anyone has been doing this. Anybody did it on the radio. And our family really do appreciate it. So thank you very, very, very much.
And I trust that the grand are listening to all the attributes about their grandfather.
Yes, they are locked on, very, very listening. My daughter actually sitting down, which is not like her. She's actually sitting down, and she was like, "This is my Aja. Let me hear my Aja."
Yes, of
So
course.
I guess everybody's listening in.
Excellent. Thank you, Videsh.
Most welcome.
Alrighty. So it's 10:55 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, we've got another hour coming up and a lot more music of Kailash Kaulesa. That's one of his favorite songs and one that people enjoyed immensely. Kailash Kaulesa on Ancestral Treasures, Lime 101.7 FM, 221-8585-662-9554. Danny Ramutar said he followed Kailash's career, and of course checks called saying that he was a fantastic singer, and we all agree. All the sentiments we've heard so far of Kailash Kaulesa, we agree totally.
हमारी जान जाती है अदा कहते हो तुम किसको हमारी जान जाती है अदा कहते हो तुम किसको बड़े मासूम कातिल हो सजा देते हो तुम मुझको बड़े मासूम कातिल हो सजा देते हो तुम मुझको कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ खिलौना जान कर हमदम मेरे दिल को न तोड़ो तुम खिलौना जान कर हमदम मेरे दिल को न तोड़ो तुम मैं राही हूँ मोहब्बत का अकेले अब न तोड़ो तुम मैं राही हूँ मोहब्बत का अकेले अब न तोड़ो तुम कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मेरे दिल में चले आओ कि ये धरती तुम्हारा है मेरे दिल में चले आओ कि ये धरती तुम्हारा है तुम्हारा प्यार ही अब मेरे जीने का सहारा है तुम्हारा प्यार ही अब मेरे जीने का सहारा है कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ कहाँ चल दिए इधर तो आओ मेरे दिल को न ठुकराओ बोल सितमगर मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ मान भी जाओ कहाँ चल दिए
Penny Allison Bally says, enjoying the treasured local artists, and indeed, let me tell you, Penny, that we've got a lot more coming up in the hour remaining of Ancestral Treasures Heritage, what used to be Heritage Radio. Yes, it's now Lime 101.7 FM. Old habits never die. But thank you all very much. I'm so happy that we're able to touch a special place in your heart this morning with the music that we're playing, especially this segment with Kailash Kaulesa. Always a beautiful piece of flute music to listen to on this program, Ancestral Treasures. Again, I'd like to thank Wayne Alley, who played some music, and Wayne Siwa in this case, who shared this piece of music with us. Wayne is in New York and a regular listener to Ancestral Treasures and Lime 101.7 FM, 1105 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Gideon Hanumansing. Andy Surju is the man at the controls, and we've got our final song by Kailash Kaulesa.
श्री रामचंद्र आश्रित पारिजातः समस्त कल्याण गुणा विरामः सीता मुखाम्बरोः चञ्चरीका निरन्तरं मङ्गले मातनोता जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम। जय दुख भंजन तुम्हें प्रणाम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम, जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम। दया के सागर प्रभु जी तुम ही पालनहारे जो भी तुम्हारे पास लगाए जो भी तुम्हारे पास लगाए बने उसे के काम जय रघुनंदन जय सिया राम जय रघुनंदन.
Okay, that's one of the issues with a live recording. Alan Sinanan tried his best to capture. We are thankful that he was able to do that so that today we can share the songs of Kailash Kaulesa with all of you. And in that song, he was joined by Malti Sinanan. It's unfortunate we didn't have the entire song, but thanks to Tara for sharing the CD, and of course Kailash Kaulesa for his immense talent contributing to our cultural development in these 1 3/4 centuries of the Indian presence in Trinidad and Tobago. And let me read what C.V. Jokan said to Videsh. Videsh, this is absolutely delightful. Your father's voice is timeless. And Prematee is watching. Prematee Hanuman Singh. Hi, Prematee Hanuman Singh, enjoying the music. Thank you very, very much as we take immense delight in sharing the songs of Trinidad and Tobago artists. So from one great male singer to another in a moment, let me share with you some information relative to our corporate sponsors. Rupnarine Department Store, 1310 SSA Rin Road in Pinal, 788-2259, 788-2259. Joyce Beauty Salon of Pinal, 647-7723. Trinshine Hardware Limited, 1136 SS Erin Road, Pinal, 674625367488803. Thank you all very much for being a part of Ancestral Treasures this morning. So, from one great singer to another. And this time it is Bhola Prasad with music by the Naya Zamana Orchestra.
वफाएं देख ली पत्थर जिगर जालिम ज़माने की कसम खाई हुई है हमने किसी से दिल लगाने की सब प्यार की बातें करते हैं पर करना आता प्यार नहीं है मतलब की दुनिया सारी यहाँ कोई किसी का यार नहीं किसी को सच्चा प्यार नहीं सुख में सब आकर अपने रिश्ते नाते बतलाते रिश्ते नाते बतलाते बुरे दिनों में देखा हमने आँख बचा कर है जाती
आँख बचा कर है जाते, किसकी मर्जी बिना तेरे सब सकता आता था नहीं। है मतलब की दुनिया सारी, यहाँ कोई किसी का यार नहीं, किसी को सच्चा प्यार नहीं। ऐ बंदे भगवान से डर, ऐ बंदे भगवान से डर, इंसान से मत डर। मोहर लगी है उसकी तेरे अब के दाने दाने पर, अब के दाने दाने पर। किसकी मर्जी बिना तेरे सब सकता आता था नहीं। है मतलब की दुनिया सारी, यहाँ कोई किसी का यार नहीं, किसी को सच्चा प्यार नहीं, किसी को सच्चा प्यार नहीं।
Bhola Prasad gone at a very early age, and I'm told victim of a vehicular accident on the Princess Margaret Highway near Shagona. So that tells you the length of time it has been when it was the Princess Margaret Highway. After his foray with the Naujawan, he joined the Naya Zamana Orchestra, and Balrup Mangal captured his voice in this recording, in which Jagannath Singh is also featured.
तूने रात गवाई सोए के, दिवस गवाया खाए के। मेरा जन्म खमोल था, पौड़ी बदले जाए। तूने रात गवाई सोए के, सुमिरन लगन लगाए के। मुख से कछु ना बोल रे, बाहर के पत बन उतर ले, अंतर के पत खोल रे। माला फेरत जुगुआ गया न मन का फेर रे, गया न मन का फेर रे। हाथ तमन्ता तोड़ दे, हाथ तमन्ता तोड़ दे, मन का फेरे। तूने रात गवाई सोए के, दिवस गवाया खाए के। मेरा जन्म खमोल था, पौड़ी बदले जाए। तूने रात गवाई सोए के, दुख में सुमिरन कब करे, मुख से करे ना कोई रे। जो दुख में सुमिरन करे तू, दुख काहे तो कोई रे। दुख में सुमिरन ना किया, दुख से करता याद रे, दुख से करता याद रे। कहे कबीर सूरदास की, कहे कबीर सूरदास की, कौन सुने फरियाद। तूने रात गवाई सोए के, दिवस गवाया खाए के। राजा नाम खमोर था गौरी बदले राय तूने रात गवाई सोए के
Jaggi, as he was affectionately called, sang into the heart of a Kanupia girl by the name of Gauri. Dolly Gulcharan also made it, but unfortunately her song is missing from this CD. But we do have Rhoda Asghar-Ali, who defied parental caution and went on stage to contribute, leaving behind one recording of her sweet voice and passion for singing.
अपना प्रीत पराई किसने है ये दीप बनाई आंधी में एक दीप जलाया और पानी में आग लगाई दिल अपना प्रीत पराई किसने है ये दीप बनाई दिल अपना सहना है मुश्किल दुनिया वालों से कहना है मुश्किल गिर के आया है तूफान ऐसा बच के साहिर पे रहना है मुश्किल गिर के आए हैं तूफान ऐसा बच के साहिर पे रहना है मुश्किल दिल अपना प्रीत पराई किसने है दीप बनाई आंधी में एक दीप जलाया और पानी में आग लगाई दिल अपना हमसे बिछड़ा हमारा ही साया गम के मारे पुकारे किसे हमसे बिछड़ा हमारा ही साया दिल अपना प्रीत पराई किसने है ये दीप बनाई आंधी में एक दीप जलाया और पानी में आग लगाई दिल अपना
And we'd like to thank the people at Rupnarayan Department Store of 1310 SS Erin Road in Penal for sharing the time with us. 788-2259. Joyce Beauty Salon of Penal, 647-7723. And Trinshine Hardware Limited, 1136 SS Erin Road in Penal, 647-6259, 647-8803. In this short segment here, we are featuring the music of the Naya Zamana Orchestra, and of course the star of the day back then, at least in this compilation, was Taran Prasad, who offered dignity and composure to every concert performance.
हम हैं तो चांद और तारे, जहां से ये रंगी नजारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे। हम हैं तो चांद और तारे, जहां से ये रंगी नजारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे। जीवन पे ये लंबे रास्ते काटेंगे गाते हंसते, जीवन पे ये लंबे रास्ते काटेंगे गाते हंसते, मिल जाएंगी हमको मंजिल एक रोज को चलते चलते, मिल जाएंगी हमको मंजिल एक रोज को चलते चलते। करते हैं गगन से इशारे, बिजली ये चमन है हमारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे। हम हैं तो चांद और तारे, जहां से ये रंगी नजारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे। एक जोश है अपने दिल में, घबराए न हम मुश्किल में। एक जोश है अपने दिल में, घबराए न हम मुश्किल में। सीखा ही नहीं रुक जाना, करते ही चले महफिल में। सीखा ही नहीं रुक जाना, करते ही चले महफिल में। करते हैं गगन से इशारे, बिजली ये चमन है हमारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे। हम हैं तो चांद और तारे, जहां से ये रंगी नजारे, हाय रे हाय वो दुनिया, हम तेरी नजर में आवारे।
I wonder where was Tyrone Mohammed in 1967? Was she in Cunubia? Was she in New York? But I'll tell you what, Taran Prasad was in Montreal, and he was singing this song at the Trinidad and Tobago Pavilion of Expo 67. And I remembered it was a Saturday afternoon when 610 Radio carried live the performance of the Trinidad and Tobago Pavilion, and the Naya Zamana Orchestra was there, and Taran Prasad sang that song. Of course, all the musicians were there, and as we said earlier on, Hans and I were talking, and we said that Ramprasad Singh was the tabla player, and he had gone with the team, and he stayed on and lived in Montreal, Canada, until the end of his time not so long ago. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you very much. I know that you are enjoying these songs. Great memories indeed, as you say, because we are moving back in time. The violin of Nasulu Ramaya, then leader of the Naya Zamana Orchestra, when these songs were recorded. How times have changed. Once upon a time, music was available only through live performances, although limited recordings were done as far back as 1939. Now there's no shortage, absolutely no shortage of music available to radio stations, and we thank those who've made their music reachable. We also thank our corporate sponsors, Rupnarayan Department Store, 1310 SSA Rin Road, Pinal, 788-2259 for partnering with us. Joyce Beauty Salon of Pinal, 647-7723. Trinshine Hardware Limited, 1136 SSA Rin Road, Pinal, 647-6253 and 647-8803. Let me acknowledge some calls we've received. Bindra Maharaj of Arima, wow, great program, great talent. Indeed, Bindra. Well, you were part of the music scene back in the day, playing your dholak, and we thank you for that as well. Molly Ramcharan, I'm enjoying your program. Vijay Ramai in Debe, who's named after Ramai Trace. He listened to the contribution of Krishnadath Nibar, and of course Rohan Rajaram is acknowledging the music that we're playing this morning on Ancestral Treasures. Neck and neck with the Naya Zamana of Queen Street, Port of Spain. Down in Felicity, the Naujawan was blazing a trail with Bhola Rajnath and Chandar Bali playing lead roles along with Nasif Masoom and George Madhu and singers who were emerging.
चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया हो चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया सपने में कोई आया जाग उठ बिंदिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया हो चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया चुप चुप गई अखियों में रंग भर बिंदिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया हो चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया किसी के दुआहत पाए रह गए मैंने की एक रंग राय दिल में किसी के दुआहत पाए रह गए मैंने की एक रंग राय जिया जब धर को तो फूल गए अखिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया ओ चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया सपने में कोई आया जाग उठ बिंदिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया ओ चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया दिन भी गए लेके रैन भी लेके वो जो गई मेरा चैन भी लेके दिन भी गई लेके रैन भी लेके वो जो गई मेरा चैन भी लेके हिल गए नैनों से चोरी सूरतिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया ओ चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया चुप चुप गई अखियों में रंग भर बिंदिया चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया ओ चोरी हो गए रात नैन के निंदिया
Yes, the year was 1963 when the Naujawan was in its prime and the Siharak brothers were sharing their talent. But I want to respond to what Tyrone Mohammed just said on Facebook. I was about 12 or 13 years old when I was singing like crazy in Cunupia. Mr. Nabi was doing his woodworking, and Baby was singing like crazy in Cunupia. But at that time, influenced, of course, by the Naujawan Orchestra and by the Naya Zamana, the Siharak brothers Ramnath and Sirju played significant roles.
हुस्न की क्या तारीफ करूं, कुछ कहते हुए भी डरता हूँ, कहीं भूल से तू न समझ बैठे कि मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत करता हूँ। तेरे हुस्न की क्या तारीफ करूं, तेरे हुस्न की क्या तारीफ करूं, कुछ कहते हुए भी डरता, कहीं भूल के तू न समझ बैठे मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत करता। मेरे दिल में कसक सी होती है, मेरे दिल में कसक सी होती है, तेरी राह से जब मैं गुजरती हूँ, उस बात से ये न समझ लेना कि मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत करती हूँ। तेरी बात में गीतों की सरगम, तेरी चाल में पायल की छम छम, तेरी बात में गीतों की सरगम, तेरी चाल में पायल की छम छम। कोई देख ले तुझको एक नजर, कोई देख ले तुझको एक नजर, मर जाए तेरी आँखों की कसम। मैं भी हूँ अजब एक दीवाना, मरता हूँ न आहे भरता, कहीं भूल से तू न समझ बैठे कि मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत करती हूँ। सामने जब तो आता है, जी धक से मेरा हो जाता है। मेरी सामने जब तो आता है, जी धक से मेरा हो जाता है। लेटी है तमन्ना अंगराई, लेटी है तमन्ना अंगराई, दिल जान कहाँ खो जाता है। महसूस ये होती है मुझको जैसे मैं तेरा दम भर के, उस बात से न समझ लेना कि मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत करती हूँ। तेरे हुस्न की क्या तारीफ करूं, कुछ कहते हुए भी डरता हूँ। कहीं भूल से तू न समझ बैठे मैं तुझसे मोहब्बत
The Naujawan of the 60s, Sergio Mohan Sihrak, Florida-based artist who's had many successful exhibitions in the Sunshine State and here in Trinidad and Tobago. Back in the day, he was among the royalties of the band, like his brother Ramnath, or Chicken, as he was known among friends. I am acknowledging Dodds is watching from Florida. That's Ayub Khan. Dudley, we called him, and he is now known as Dudds Trini. He is in Florida, in Texas rather, and enjoying. Very nice indeed. It appears that you have been to the bunker pulling out the gold, says Kenny Dunn. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I've been inside the bunker and I came up with the gold.
कराड़ सा है हमको घुमाड़ सा है जब से तुम्हें देखा सनम दिल बेकरार सा है हमको घुमाड़ सा है जब से तुम्हें देखा सनम दिल बेकरार सा है मौसम नशे में चूर है कुछ पी के आई है घटा बस कुछ न पूछो आज क्या पैगाम लाई है घटा अब मैंने जाना प्यार क्या है तेरी जुल्फों की कसम दिल बेकरार सा है हमको घुमाड़ सा है जब से तुम्हें देखा सनम हाय दिल बेकरार सा है हाथों में आंचल थाम के ये सर झुकाने की अदा दीवाना कर देगी मुझे यूं मुस्कुराने की अदा अब मैंने जाना प्यार क्या है तेरी होठों की कसम दिल बेकरार सा है हमको घुमाड़ सा है जब से तुम्हें देखा सनम दिल बेकरार सा है la 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 la
Taking you down memory lane as we remember the golden days of local orchestration music, the Naujawan was ranking tops with the Naya Zamana the Naya Tarana, SM Aziz, Jitsi Sahai, Sitara Hind, Ramdev Silochan's Gemini Indian Orchestra, Dindyal Karnik and his orchestra sowing their way into the hearts of local fans. And of course, there was this little band called Gitanjali forming under a house on Jerningham Junction Road. And one little girl who was around at the time was Kamrun, who became Kamrun Noel. And the sisters are listening. The brother is in New York, Rahamat Pung Sultan. They're all listening and enjoying. And, well, you know, these days, radio, you can see radio. So they're all watching as well. We thank you all very, very much, as we thank our corporate sponsors, Rupnarayan Department Store, 1310 SS Erin Road in Pinal, 788-2259. Joyce Beauty Salon of Pinal, 647-7723. And Trinshine Hardware Limited, 1136 SS Erin Road in Pinal, 647-6253. 8803. And these corporate sponsors from Penal must have been overwhelmed by the fact that we highlighted one of their own, Kailash Kaulesa, earlier on.
नाचन वाला आ गया जादू बनकर छा गया तेरे है बीन प्यार की हो
अब्दुल्ला नागिन वाला आ गया जादू बनकर छा गया तेरे है बीन प्यार की हो
अब्दुल्ला लच के रहना तेरा बच के
नागिन जब लच के रहना तेरा बच के
कहने है जिस पे मोर के दीवाना करके छोड़ के दीवानी दिलदार की हो अब्दुल्ला अब्दुल्ला नागिन वाला आ गया जादू बनकर छा गया तेरे है बीन प्यार की हो अब्दुल्ला संभाल के जादू नहीं डाल के
पर अपनी बात बात पे जाए नाच नाच के मैं दिले संसार के ओ
अब्दुल्ला नागिन वाला आ गया जादू बनकर छा गया तेरे है दीन प्यार की हो अब्दुल्ला फलाना दिन वाला आ गया, जादू बनकर छा गया, तेरे है भीम प्यार की ए अब्दुल्ला।
The late Chandar Bali and his Judy on Ancestral Treasures, celebrating this morning 1 3/4 centuries since our forebears came from states in northern India such as Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, depositing what they had learnt from their ancestors. 11:54 in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, the advent of Hindi films made its mark in Trinidad and Tobago, giving these singers the material to exercise their talent and feed the population with musical rations.
हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, मर जाएंगे रो रो के। बड़ी जालिम है, दिल तोड़ के हंसती है, दुनिया बड़ी जालिम है, दिल तोड़ के हंसती है, एक मौज किनारे से मिलने को तरसती है, कह दो न कोई रोके, कह दो न कोई रोके, हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, मर जाएंगे रो रो के। वादे नहीं भूलेंगे, कसमें नहीं तोड़ेंगे, वादे नहीं भूलेंगे, कसमें नहीं तोड़ेंगे, ये कह के हम दोनों मिलना नहीं छोड़ेंगे, जो रोक सके रोके, जो रोक सके रोके, हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, हम तुमसे जुदा होके मर जाएंगे रो रो के, मर जाएंगे रो रो के।
The man who rode a white horse to reach performing venues before he acquired fuel-powered transport, Mr. Ramnath Siharak, as we lift from the bunker, as Kenny said, or the archives, hidden treasures to commemorate an important historical year for us in Trinidad and Tobago. This is where we bring to a close the show for today, and we thank Rupnarayan Department Store of 1310 SS Erin Road in Penal, Joyce Beauty Salon of Penal, Trinshine Hardware Limited of SS Erin Road in Penal. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for encouraging us. And as we leave you, I say thank you on behalf of Andy Sergio. This is Gideon Hanuman Singh wishing you all a very wonderful Sunday afternoon.
Live 101.7 FM.
We come to line. We come to line. Line with your family, line with your friends, line with everybody.